where we found an edge and where we are kind of experts is we actually say, no, we can get you high conversion rates from day one. So we focus on actually building a high converting landing page or store or funnel or whatever it may be from the day you launch your page. And the way we've been able to do that is over the last 10 years, we've built out what we call internally like our blueprint or framework that says, if you have these elements in these orders on your page, it is more than likely to convert. 9 times out of 10, it will convert.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the High Level Spotlight Sessions, where we showcase awesome marketers doing awesome marketing. Today, I'm excited to be joined by Oliver Kenyon. He's co-founder at ConversionWise, which provides a solution to skyrocket your business, make high conversion rates achievable for everyone. Oliver, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you. I'm excited. Thanks for having me.
I'm excited too. I love CRO. I love conversion optimization. We don't talk about it enough. My team is in the midst of ramping up a bunch of new tests over at High Level ourselves. So hopefully we'll pick up some nuggets today as well. But talk to me about how you got it. How did you become a conversion rate pro? Are you from the agency world?
Well, the first kind of agency I came into and kind of founded is the agency that I still run 10 years on. So I wasn't from the agency world. I would say now, I guess 10 years in, I probably am from the agency world. So yeah, how did I get started in this? And that's a question I love because I always say this, but I don't think anyone like wakes up when they're kind of like 13, 14 years old and says, I want to get into CRO. Like I didn't have a clue what CRO was. I didn't really know that you could make money online. Like to take you way back, I was my first ever job was like a chef. I was a full-time chef. I worked in the kitchen since I was 13, but I was always obsessed with this like online world. And funny enough, I actually got into the online world via hip hop. I used to love hip hop when I was kind of a teenager. Loved Eminem, time of 8 Mile, the kind of film and rap battles. And I would come online to read these rap battles. And to kind of fast forward, I fell in love with like communities and forums because I would go on these communities and forums that were talking about hip hop and rap battles. And I thought, do you know what? One day I'm going to create my own community and forum. So I did the whole kind of like, I think you guys have got Shark Tank. We've got Dragon's Den over here in the UK. I'm from England. I did the whole kind of like Shark Tank pitch to my father and grandfather at the time when I was about 15, because I had zero money like chefs. I'm sure some of your listeners may have been chefs or worked in the kind of catering industry. You don't get paid very well and you work ridiculous hours. So I didn't really have the money to spend on this site. And I think I pitched for like £140. So like say $200 for 40% of my business. And that allowed me to buy a domain, a vBulletin license, which was community software, and some hosting. And my dad still to this day, I'm now 35, this was 20 years ago, reminds me that he still owns 40% of my company, which is absolute rubbish. So I started this first community on vBulletin. It was all about rap. But actually on that community, I found someone in Wales, over in Britain, who was into affiliate marketing. He was into CPA marketing. And he introduced me to the whole kind of make money online world. I was just trying to network with hip hop people. Like I didn't really know I could do this as a living, right? I was a chef. And we stumbled across this network called CPA Lead. I don't know if you're aware of like the CPA kind of affiliate network space back in the day. And the beauty of the CPA Lead network was you had a live chat feature inside the dashboard. So you could discuss secrets, tips and stuff with different people. Now, I thought this was great when I signed up, but the downfall was that actually no one wanted to give their secrets away. Like I feel like when I started in online, like when I was kind of 15, like I say, about 20 years, I'm 35 now, I have to think about that. 20 years ago, no one wanted to give their secrets away. But like I've just joined Twitter like 2-3 months ago, and the value people are giving away for free these days is nuts. So like you guys have the advantage, but everyone on this chat was very exclusive and kind of didn't want to give anything away. So I took my forum knowledge, because I've already launched the forum, and I launched another forum about affiliate marketing. Because I thought if I could pull these people out of the chat into my own community, they might share a bit more. Never thought about making money from it, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Cut a long story short, like about 4 weeks later, I had about 400 or 500 members on this community. And I was like, whoa, this is nuts. Wow. Like I thought it was going to be like 10 of us like discussing this thing. But we were the kind of first ever affiliate only community. And all of a sudden it started building traction, and someone reached out to me and asked if they could spend buy some banner placements on there for their network. I was like, wow, I can actually make money from this. Like, mind blowing. This is crazy. Like, I think I made like maybe, I don't know what I made in a couple of weeks from one banner sale as a chef, like versus selling this spot. And yeah, I mean, to fast forward, that community actually became the largest affiliate community to date online and still going. I sold the business back in 2017, which I'm forever grateful for. But in that community, I know this is a long answer, but in that community, people saw the design of the forum and they loved the design of the forum. And they wanted to use my designer. So I guess back then, my kind of whole young entrepreneurial brain thought, well, instead of just introing them, I'm going to arbitrage this, right? I'm going to be like, okay, you can use him, but I'm going to sit in the middle and take a little bit of commission going back and forth. And I started doing that with a few people. And I actually found my co-founder on the community as well, which is a crazy story. Like, he lives 30 minutes drive from me. However, this was a global community and we didn't know each other before this, but we just happened to be on the same community in the same area, which was nuts. And he's still my co-founder and best friend to this day. And we launched what was called Landing Page Guys. So originally we were called Landing Page Guys. We thought, let's pick a name, like, we want to become the best at landing page design. Let's pick a name that does what it says on the tin. I don't think there's a better name than Landing Page Guys. Launched Landing Page Guys, and 10 years later, we still have that agency, and we're kind of taking it to new heights.
Very cool. That's a cool story. So talk to me about the evolution of conversion. I mean, I'm so curious to see if you're going to say, you know, if we talk about the anatomy of a high converting landing page, if it's still things that, you know, I think are true from my days of building websites, you know, half a decade ago, almost a decade ago at this point.
Absolutely. And I would say that the principles remain the same. So we talk a lot, what we now expertise, we've rebranded a couple of years ago as ConversionWise. We kind of launched several different solutions under the arm, which I'm sure we'll kind of maybe get into later about the agency side. But as far as conversion rates, where we expertise is not ongoing CRO. So there's definitely different, I guess, sectors within CRO. CRO is a blanket. Conversion rate optimization kind of sits at the top. Your traditional conversion rate optimization is where you kind of rely on guesswork, like what could work. We run some data to it, whether it's email, paid media, it doesn't matter. We run data, we track the conversion rate, and then we kind of go, all right, well, next month, let's test this, like it may be A/B or maybe multivariate testing, but we test different things. And then we run more data and we see if it has an uplift or we see if it has a downlift. And it kind of goes like this, like it's like a roller coaster, right? It goes like up, down, up, down. Mm-hmm. Where we found an edge and where we are kind of experts is we actually say, no, we can get you high conversion rates from day one. So we focus on actually building a high converting landing page or store or funnel or whatever it may be from the day you launch your page. And the way we've been able to do that is over the last 10 years, we've built out what we call internally like our blueprint or framework that says, if you have these elements in these orders on your page, it is more than likely to convert. 9 times out of 10, it will convert. And very happy to walk through kind of a lot of them or some of them, but I would assume that most of what I'm about to say, you probably will nod your head and say, yeah, nothing's changed. Like the kind of elements remain the same. So, you know, just things like instilling trust and credibility is super, super important. Social proof, you know, things like reviews, testimonials, case studies, a form of urgency and scarcity. Now, I'm not talking about rush my trial, big red banners, you know, scarcity, order now, fill in the form, it's about to blow up. Like, no, there's subtle ways to do all this. Things like following the AIDA principle, which we've actually adapted to add a couple more sections in now that we've built on the framework. But it's all things that tick boxes. And I think I refer to ticking boxes quite a lot because all you're trying to do when a cold consumer lands on your landing page is tick a bunch of little boxes that all add up to a big action. And you need these kind of little tick marks and they will maybe move the needle very, very slightly. But if you have them all, your conversion rate is going to, you know, skyrocket, as we use that phrase, versus, you know, if you only had several of these kind of boxes to be ticked. And I'd be happy to go into some.
Yeah, let's do it. And I mean, I like that approach a lot, to be honest, because if you take, you know, what a client thought they wanted built, right? They've got a website that who knows who built it and whose idea it was for what's on the page and this and that. And you try to A/B test all these different little elements and stuff. you might increase it like this much, whereas just implementing a proven framework from the get-go, you kind of do a quantum leap, as we call it. Internally over here at High Level is like, are we gonna split test a button color here, or are we gonna split test a quantum leap forward? And if hopefully the quantum leap wins. Yeah, let's check it out. I mean, do you want to share your screen? Do you have like an example to go through, or a wireframe?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can. Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that, but I can get prepared in a very very short amount of time. Let me just pull up a new window, and I will pull up a wireframe for you. Right, let's have a look. So I'm going to take you inside our academy, which is where we actually teach conversion rate optimization, ongoing kind of CRO, but mainly these kind of frameworks that I'm going to kind of walk you through now. Where do you want to start? Do you want to do, we have various different wireframes.
Start above the fold.
Sales pages, product pages. We can do lead gen, multi-step lead gen, home pages, advertorials, you name it. We've got them all.
Oh, all right. Well, let's start with the home page.
Okay, perfect. Let me just pull that up. So I'll get this ready and I'll share my screen for you. Okay, share screen. Okay, so typically speaking, as I said, most pages will follow a very similar wireframe as far as elements on the page. And there are different sections depending on what you're doing. So let's say lead gen versus e-com versus straight sale versus even down to kind of like coaches and courses versus physical products. Like there are differences, but the elements and the principles remain the same. So these are wireframes that we kind of teach inside our academy. We have a full training on this. And there's 5 things we automatically look for above the fold on your landing page. So first and foremost, it's how can we instill trust to this cold consumer? So when I mention the word cold consumer, all I'm saying is someone who doesn't know anything about your product, doesn't know anything about your service or your solution or your workshop or your webinar or your physical product. It doesn't matter what you're doing. They don't know anything about you. They're clicking an ad, they're clicking an email, they're coming to you as a cold consumer. How can we straight away instill trust? Now, the best way to do this, and this is actually an example of an e-com page, but this is a very, very, it's basically exactly the same on lead gen. How can we do this with trust and credibility is underneath your navigation bar, you can add very, very simple toolbar, like a secondary toolbar that has what we call your trust and your trust guarantees. So things like if you're a physical product and you offer free shipping, let's put it here. If you offer 24-hour delivery, put it here. If you offer money back guarantees, support, it's things like support, money back guarantees, SSL security seals. If you're doing if you have forms on your page, for example, commitments to not spamming. If you're doing lead gen, what can we add to this bar that's going to, and all of this is subconscious, by the way, guys, like people don't literally come to your page and go, oh my God, I'm looking at that element, therefore I trust these guys because they put that element. They all tick small boxes. So first and foremost, trust and credibility. So we add something like this above the fold along the top. That, and by the way, this is a wireframe, guys. So this kind of, this is text here. This is text here. So, you can put your reviews here. You can put your support. You can put your security seals, but anything you can put up there to instill trust and credibility instantly is going to be a big tick. So number 1 is trust. Number 2 is social proof. So social proof is basically any form of review, testimonial, anything that makes me FOMO because I see someone else socially approving of your service or solution. So therefore it's another box ticked in my brain. So here we do this here. So this is our social proof. We have, I don't know if I can zoom in. Yeah, a little bit here. We can have our 5 stars. And then this symbolizes text because again, we teach this in our training and often this will be alongside a video. So it'd make more sense to you guys, but we need something that's more than just saying, here's the rating. And this is like an undervalued bit of real estate on your landing page because often most people will just go rated 4.8 out of 5 stars. That's it. That's what you see on most product pages. That's what you see on most solutions, courses, membership pages. That's it. However, if you just add a little bit more to that, it's going to really, really enhance that social proof. So instead of saying 4.8 out of 5 stars, we say rated 4.8 out of 5 stars by 100 plus happy customers. And you see how instantly that leverages and enhances that social proof. So you can get clever with the happy customer bit. So let's say, for example, we're selling sorry, I always say vitamin, but I know it's in America, a vitamin. Let's say we're selling a vitamin. Instead of saying, rated 4.8 out of 5 stars by 100 plus happy customers, we can say rated 4.8 out of 5 stars by 100 plus people living a healthier and happier life. So you can also niche down on the product or the offer that you're selling as well. So having social proof above the fold is really, really crucial. Now, you don't have to have a full testimonial, especially on mobile. And we do have a mobile breakdowns inside the academy as well. But especially on mobile, where real estate is so important above the fold, a big testimonial is going to push some important elements down. So just having this one-liner with the stars, you need the stars because they're very visual and they draw attention. Make sure they stand out. So color-wise, make sure they're a different color to your actual brand colors. And then having that kind of one-liner is really, really going to enhance that. Number 3 is a clear value proposition. So you can see it here. We say it as in a title because often this is done in your title. But again, this is something that people, and by the way, if you're watching this or listening to this and you're not doing the things I'm telling you, you need to get excited. And this is where I love it, because people think that I'm kind of roasting them or having a go at them when they're not doing these things. But actually, if you're not, this is where you're going to see the biggest uplift. So it's really exciting. So number 3 is value proposition. So we do this in the title or your headline. You have, I think it's between like 3 and 7 seconds on average to get your value proposition across to people very clearly before they are uninterested and bounce off your page. So utilize that title to sell that proposition. Again, the biggest mistake we see is that, let's say, for example, you're selling that vitamin, or you're doing lead gen for solar or funeral cover or whatever it may be. You just have a very generic title that says something like life insurance, get your life insurance quote now. Okay, it's boring, it's unemotive, and it doesn't get your proposition across. So instead, let's flip that title and let's use life insurance as an example again, to instead of something like get your life insurance quote now, it's something like make sure your family is safe and secure for life. And you see how that hits like so much harder. That's such a better kind of headline and value proposition that actually emotively ties me into this page. I want to read more because they've hit my pain point. So utilizing that headline is super, super crucial. So that's point number 3. So we've got trust, we've got social proof, we've got strong value proposition. Number 4 is imagery. So imagery is really important. And again, like this is a wireframe, guys. So like you won't see images on here because it's very much like black and white just to show you the elements. But over here on the right-hand side, or if we take a look at our lead gen page, let's just have a quick look at the lead gen page, because I know a lot of high level kind of customers are lead gen focused. So we take a look at this wireframe on the lead gen side. There would be like an image here in the background behind this section. When it comes to product images, if you're doing e-com, then obviously a nice product picture of your product. And if you're doing e-com as well, don't just have one product image, have it on the scroll and make sure that you're utilizing several different types of product images. So e-com, it's really important to have like a professionally shot picture of your product, for example, the vitamin bottle, but then also have it product placement. So have it like in different scenarios. So like have it in the locker at the gym, have it on the side of your home table by your green tea, but then also UGC content as well. So like have people actually holding the bottle or, taking a tab out of the bottle and consuming it. That's really important. When it comes to lead gen, the more emotive the image, the better. So when it comes to something like health insurance, typically speaking, you need to think about your target demographic. People get health insurance typically, or life insurance, sorry, let's switch back to life insurance, typically when they have like a family. So use pictures of families, use happy families, hugging, caring for one another. They're really happy because they've got their life insurance and they're now secure and their family's secure. So really like pull on the heartstrings of your target demographic and your consumer when it comes to that images. So we've covered trust, we've covered social proof, strong value proposition, product imagery. And then number 5 is any form of like scarcity or urgency. So I say do this in a subtle way. You have to be careful with how you do this. let's take life insurance let's take lead gen, for example. Above the form, your headline should, there should be something that says something like, currently accepting new applicants. It doesn't have to be like, if you don't do this now, you're never going to get it again. Like, people don't believe that. I think people have been online too long. 10, 15 years ago, those kind of urgency claims worked because people were naive to like these things online. Now everyone's online 24/7, buying online, filling in forms online. So just, having something subtle, but any form of scarcity or urgency that's like, okay, now taking January enrollments, or, now open for applications, but just having something that gives the consumer a subtle nudge to kind of fill in this form now, because they think that they can, because it's available now, is a really good way of doing it. So that's the kind of crucial elements that we kind of always have to have above the fold. I talk for England. I am from England. Can I continue?
Of course, yeah.
Cool, perfect, right. So
I like the lead gen page. I think that
absolutely
probably resonates, with what most of us in the high level community are doing for our clients. So yeah, this is cool.
Absolutely. Let's carry on then. Cool. So a couple of things about above the fold with the lead gen. Let's talk about the form. So you might have, there's two general rules of like, we get this question all the time on lead gen, which, and I'll flip in and out, and I do apologize. Like I say, I get very passionate about conversion
no,
rates,
and
I keep talking, but there's two, we get asked this question all the time. There's one really important rule when it comes to lead gen about the type of page you use. There's multivariate, or there's straight form. So like one step or two step form. And it all comes down to the amount of questions you ask. Now, typically speaking, I would always lead with a multivariate step. And let me just show you what that looks like. So I would always lead with a multivariate step. And what I mean by that is have a very easy to answer question as step one. So don't have your form, don't have your details, just have something that's like, are you male or female? Are you under or over the age of 50? Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to get that first reaction point, and B, you're trying to gamify the form. Because as soon as someone interacts with that form, they are more than likely to go through the form and fill it in. Whereas if you just hit them with like personal details, like name, email, address, do you smoke, do you not smoke, depending on what sort of offers you're pushing, they are more than likely to not fill that form in. So even if it's something like an opt-in for a workshop or webinar, I wouldn't even have the form fields on the page. You have a call to action that then brings up a modal, because first and foremost, you just want them to interact. So your call to action should be like, let's say it's a make money online offer and it's a workshop. It should be like, yes, I want instant access now. Click it, modal comes up, then you ask for those details because they've already interacted at this step. Whereas you will see a far higher conversion rate versus just having that form on page one. So
I love that. And I would interject here that I think the highest converting page that we ever ran at our agency, which we ended up running for lots of chiropractors, had a section like that. We called it the back pain evaluator or something. And the first question was like,
did it say something like, how out of 10, what's your back pain?
It was like, the first question I think was like, where do you feel the most pain? It was like upper back, mid back, lower back. And then and it kept going through, and then, so
and when you
100%.
think about it, it's a psychological thing. Like, it's so much easier to click a part of a back as an image versus, I've got to put my name and email in. Like, so you'll see a huge uplift. Like, anyone who's just running any kind of lead gen and just has the form on step one, if you implement this, I guarantee you'll see an uplift in conversion rate. So if you do anything today, just do this. But yeah, first and foremost, try and get them to interact and gamify the form. So like I say, step one is something like this. It's like, initial question. So it may be, out of 10, rate your back pain. Above 5, under 5. Okay, we know people are going to go above. Click this. Then you can serve this second step, which could be like your form. I mean, typically, again, if you're looking for multiple answers, I would gamify it and take them through the form, take them through a multi-step. I think we've got inner multi-steps. No, we do have it somewhere. But take them through the steps as a kind of yes or no like this. There's really important things when it comes to a form. you need to hold your consumer's hand. So you need to be very, very clear and obvious about how many steps are on the form and what step they're on. Don't keep them guessing. So you notice this is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is to symbolize that you're on step 1. You then go step 2, you go step 3, but make sure that you showcase what steps people are on, because otherwise you'll see a huge drop off, because people will just be like, right, these guys are just going to keep me on this form forever. Like, it's never ending. So they need to see like an end goal in sight. So that's really, really important. And then again, I know it's a wireframe, but you'll notice just, can you see my cursor?
Yep.
You'll notice underneath the button, this kind of, we like using emojis, but you can use like a icon or whatever. Put a little padlock icon or an emoji and just a one liner that says something like, we respect your privacy and will never, ever spam you. Again, it's that trust. It's that little bit of trust that people then go, okay, again, they don't think it. They don't stop and go, oh, I now trust this person. But subconsciously you see it and you think, okay, I'm going to engage with this form. So these are a few little tips when it comes to actually the form itself.
It's interesting how that's changed, because I think that point, thinking back 10 years ago, we used to say, no, don't mention spam, because now they're thinking about spam. But I feel like in today's world, spam is so prevalent that calling it out, it actually does make sense now to me to say something like that, because we all default to, oh my gosh, if I click anything on this page, I'm somehow going to be getting spammed. I don't know how it works.
I mean, there's definitely some ways to word it and different ways to word it. Like, you won't be opted in or whatever that may be. But it's a little line that kind of, we call them anchors, but anchors your CTA that kind of just makes it feel a little bit more, lower friction to just fill in that form. It is going to be crucial. So yeah, I think taking them, first and foremost, getting an interaction is crucial. Only ask for the kind of personal information, so name, email, whatever you need to collect on that last step, but also incentivizing that last step. So let's say you interact in the first 5 steps. It's like, yes, no, above 10, under 10, do you smoke? Yes, no, like blah, blah, blah. Then it's like on that second but last step, the headline here should change to say something like, you are 1 step away, or something like this, or, keep going, you're already 1 step away. And then when you really reach that last step, incentivizing the form fill is crucial. So again, your headline should support the form fill. So like, you need to, again, I always say this, but like, treat people like they're 5 years old, like tell them what's going to happen next. So that headline should be something like, your free consultation is only one step away. We need this personal, and tell them like, we need this personal information to tailor the best solution for you. So make it a convenience thing instead of a friction thing. So like, on that step where people have to give up personal information, pitch it as if it's a convenience thing for them to do it, not if it's like a pain thing for them. Does that make sense?
100%. And, you have my gears spinning. In high level, we can build surveys that are multi-step, right? So I can envision, all right, I work with chiropractors. I'm going to build this survey that asks 4 questions or whatever. And exactly what you're saying, based on, maybe it's not like some complex calculation of like, did they choose option 2 on the first step and 3 on the third and but maybe it's just like, okay, if they picked upper back, we customize the next sequence of stuff they get to upper back versus middle back versus lower back. But when you, as a consumer, I feel like just seeing that one thing was actually customized based on what you put into the form establishes a little bit more trust, credibility, makes you feel like, okay, somebody is paying attention to what just happened.
Yeah, if conditional is really crucial on those steps, which basically means exactly as you said, like if they click this, show them this result. If they click that, show them this result, which you can do inside the software, which is crucial. And then if you can personalize that last step to, again, reduce the friction of the form fill, because that's the step where most people don't want to do. You've gamified that first kind of interaction where it's just yes, no's, click back, like it's easy. I'm clicking buttons. Now I actually have to put in my details. Well, you need to like incentivize me to do so. So flipping that headline to be something like, don't worry. 90% of other people experience lower back pain. Please fill in your details so we can get you connected with with someone who's going to get a solution for you tailor-made for you or something, like, just putting a headline or something that just makes them feel inclusive and like, oh, these people actually really care, instead of saying just fill in your details. Like you see the difference there. It's really holding people's hands and just telling them what to expect next. That's another huge thing is on that last step. If, for example, and this differs per offer, per solution, we're talking broad here, but like, let's say it's what would be the step after they filled for your chiropractor? What would be the step after they filled in the form? Would they get a phone call straight away? Would they have to book in an appointment? Like, what would be that step?
There would be a little bit of a filter that actually did tie to the survey, because there were some questions in there around like insurance or where you lived and stuff like that. So and I've seen it on a lot of forms where you get to that last step and it's like, okay, where should we send your results report? Right. And it's like, oh, all right, well, that makes sense. Like, how could they send me something if they don't have my email?
Absolutely.
And so you kind of put the email in and then you get back like, yeah, you're a great fit for our first visit promotion. The next step is to, come book an appointment, click this link or whatever. Or you might get one back that says like, sorry, you're not a great fit for our first, discounted first visit appointment or whatever. But here are some things that you could look into or whatever. So it was actually filtering people out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it worked very well.
And the point on that is just being very, very open about what's going to happen next, can really help increase your kind of close rate. So, even on the thank you page, having something that says, here's what's going to happen next. You will now receive your full, back report to your email. If you qualified, you will have a 50% off your first, consultation discount coupon. Please use it within the next 24 hours before it expires. Like, just explaining and just holding people's hands really, really works. So just to finish off this page, we kind of add several sections below the fold that we think really boost your conversion rates and are crucial. This is a kind of as recommended by, as trusted by, let's say, for example, your chiropractor and top chiropractor magazines have written about you, or you've been featured on different articles. Just again, instilling trust and credibility. If you can put their logos here, that's really, really going to help. And people think like they have to get Forbes and Entrepreneur and all these different kind of massive publications. It's untrue. Actually, we've run split tests, and just by having logos of companies, even if people don't even know what those companies are, it instantly adds credibility. I don't need to know that Chiropractor Weekly is not a huge publication. It's more the fact that someone actually has written about you or recommended you. So if you can include them here. The second section we always do, and we do this on ecom, we do this on coaching, we do this memberships, we do this sales, lead gen, it doesn't matter, is the transformation step. And this is a really important part of your landing page. So I'll briefly explain this. So the transformation is, how do I opt into your service or buy your product? How do I receive your service or receive your product? And how does it benefit me? So number 3, people often get wrong. Number 3, they think it's the deliverable. They think it's like, get an email report. It's not, it's the outcome. This is why we call it transformation. 9 times out of 10, people don't actually care how you're going to fulfill what you're giving. They actually just want the result, and they want to hear about that transformation and the result. So again, let's say chiropractor, from a form fill to a consultation, which will help with my back pain. This would be something, your headline would be something like, again, I love and hate coming up with copy on the spot, but your headline would it's quite hard, but I love it when I get it right. Your headline would be something like, get your back in 3 simple steps, or get your life back in track on 3 simple steps. And then it's like step 1, and again, hold their hand. Step 1, fill in the form above, and then you explain underneath. Take 2 minutes to fill in the next 5 steps and give us all your details. So again, convenience, we can personally offer you the best solution for your back pain. Step 2 is the deliverable. So it's within 24 hours, we will send you a free report that will give you a 50% off coupon and a consultation. Step 3 is not the consultation. Step 3 is the outcome. So it's the transformation. So step 3 is live a healthier and happier life. Okay. It's not have a free consultation with our doctor. That's not what people want to hear. They want to hear the end result. Like, how is this whole thing going to benefit me? So step 3 is, be able to play with your kids again.
Enjoy the golf course because your back will
There
feel
you
good.
go. Golf. There you go. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Depending on your target ground, but that's perfect. Get back on enjoying golf, of course, or whatever it is. It's that outcome. It's the transformation. So that's really, really crucial. So we always include that transformation step. And then we go into the sort of, again, following the AIDA principle. So we go, again, if people, listeners aren't familiar with the AIDA principle, it's attention, interest, desire, and action. And it's basically like the journey that you take people through down your landing page. We've adapted it. Unfortunately, our acronym isn't pronounceable, so I have to break it down by letter. So ours is ATIDFA. So R stands for attention, transformation, interest, desire, FAQ, action. So we go attention above the fold. We then go transformation, then we go interest. So interest should just be piquing your interest of your offer. So again, let's say chiropractor, what does your solution include? First and foremost, you have to lead with the benefits. So typically we'll split this into 2 sections. It'll be benefit as section 1, and it'll be features as section 2. So benefit of a chiropractor will be able to get back on the golf course, play with your kids again, get better sleep, live a healthier life, everything that benefits you of the outcome. The second section is the features. Now, this is where we can go into like a 24-page report, a custom one-on-one consultation call, a free we'll send you an ebook in the post. Like, this is where it's like the deliverables, the features of your service. So again, let's flip this to like courses and memberships. The first section is the outcome. It's like, say for example, us, we have a conversion rate optimization training and community. The first section is earn more money from your ad spend, increase your conversion rates, increase your average order value, get better ROAS. That's the benefit, be healthier, make more money. Like, ultimately it's make more money, right? And then the second section is we do this via checklists, training, live calls, weekly audit clinics, wireframes, etc. It's like the feature. So that AIDA section is broken into 2. Then we go social proof. So the desire section, which is social proof. So this is where you include your testimonials, reviews, case studies, UGC content, whatever you want. Basically, people saying they've used your solution. Dave from Birmingham has filled in your form. He's got with the doctor and the outcome's amazing. He's now back on the golf course. He's playing around with Chase and he's loving it. So all about the reviews and the outcome. Then it's the FAQ. That's that section we slotted into that AIDA principle. So FAQs are really, really undervalued. They're huge bits of conversion rate real estate that really bolster your conversion rates. The way you use FAQs is to objection handle. If you are lucky enough that someone has scrolled this far down the page, I say lucky enough because your page has to be hot to get someone down this page. If you ever install heat maps, you'll see not many people scroll down the fold unless you do it right. This is the perfect place to handle any objection that may be in that person's head. So again, chiropractor, I would just go and ask 10 people, random people, like in your friends and family group, show them your landing page or explain your service and ask them what questions they have about it. And typically those 10 people will reply with 5 questions that are all the same. So, okay, well, what hours do you do my calls? Is there a money back guarantee? Do you guarantee results? How quickly will I see results? Do I need to take medication? Do I need to do physical exercise? Can I do this when I work a 9 to 5? Like, there'll be a number of questions that keep repeating from 10 people. Put them here. If you get email support or you have a call center, go and quiz your call center or your customer care or customer service people and just ask them what questions they're getting asked all the time. Shove them into your FAQ because you're just trying to object here. You're just trying to get any doubts in people's heads when they reach this part of the page out of it. Okay, so the next section is FAQ. And then bottom of the page, again, a lot of people negate this and don't put this in, is action. One clear call to action. I always use this analogy and it's a bit of a weird one, but let's say, for example, me and Chase tonight, we go and watch a movie at the cinema and we love the movie so much that we're sticking around for the end. We can't wait for the end. And at the end of the movie, it just ends. There's no ending. It just cuts off. This is the same thing as if you get someone to go through your whole landing page journey. They're scrolling down. They want to take action. They want the end result, but you're not shoving it in front of their face. So just by adding a call to action at the bottom of the page to then, even if it links back up to the form, you're going to really see an increase in conversion. So attention, transformation, interest, desire, FAQ, action, all those crucial elements above the fold. And hopefully that was some good principles for you.
I love it. There was a lot of really interesting nuggets in there. I love the above your first heading, that little stars with that quick line. I feel like I've seen that a few times recently, and I've been like, oh, that's interesting. Something above the first header. And I like it a lot. I think it's
really important on mobile as well, because like I say, a lot of people kind of freak out like, oh, how can I get all these 5 elements above the fold on mobile? But it's just a one line. And again, anyone can do this because you can just use icons or emojis, star emojis or text icon. It doesn't need to be like high-end graphic design, big reviews, and just making sure that that title beyond it isn't just like 4.9 out of 5, like boring. Who cares? 4.9 out of 5 by 100 plus men who are back playing golf. Like to me, that's way more attractive as a kind of one liner.
And I mean, what do you think about this? So one thought that ran through my head is like, okay, well, I just started out on my agency journey, and I decided I want to work with chiropractors, but I don't have any testimonials or anything yet. When I got to that section, I immediately thought of, oh, wow, you could flip this and have it be about like, testimonials coming soon. How about the first one from you? And it's like, we're going to do a discounted offering for the first 10 customers that we get in exchange for honest feedback. What a great way to get your first test.
You see my smile. This is quite funny because we are working on a new version of our site, which is launching later this week. I've been staring at it for about 7 days straight, so I hate it right now. But we're launching this new site at the end of the week, and we have a theme that we're launching on Shopify. So we're launching a highly converting, highly optimized Shopify theme through their marketplace. And it's taken us a year because it's very hard to get it approved on the marketplace. But we want a page that kind of, the design's done, the back end's done, it's just getting it approved by Shopify. So we've kind of pre-sold the whole theme. And then we have buttons, CTAs, that say, notify me of the launch. Now, we have followed our principles. We followed our ATIDFA, whatever kind of layout. And we did exactly as you just said in the testimonial section. Well, similar. What we've done is we've included profile pictures, the generic kind of like man in a circle. And then the testimonial says something like, you raving about how our themes increase your conversion rates in 6 months' time. And then we've put like a little CTA underneath that says like, opt in now to get your kind of your coupon off the launch. So yeah, there's definitely clever ways of doing it. I also just think go and do for free. Like anyone who's starting an agency from scratch, and we had to do this, like we work for free. And, sometimes you do, especially like someone asked me this on Twitter. I did like an Ask Me Anything the other day. For some reason, I've managed to grow my Twitter account quite a lot. But someone asked me like, okay, I'm a new agency. I don't have any reviews. And I just said, like, go draw up a list of like your 20 to 30 ideal customers, like whatever that may be. So like, it doesn't matter if you're offline, online, just go draw up a list and just go and approach them. Just go ask them. Like the worst you can get is a no. So out of say 30 people you ask, you may get 10 people that say, do you know what? Like, especially like, let's say, for example, landing pages, we will create a landing page for you for free. All we ask in return is a testimonial. And a lot of people like free. So a lot of people do it. Again, in the chiropractor space, go into one of your local town's Facebook groups and just put a post up that says, hey guys, just started my new chiropractor business, looking for some reviews because I want to make my product better. I also need some testimonials for my new website. Just wondering if anyone wanted a free 30-minute session, offering 10, put a bit of scarcity on it, offering 10 only, comment on this post. And like, you'll be amazed at how quickly you can get some reviews, right?
I would watch this episode and make a list of all the things that you just showed us, and I would offer a free website report.
Audit, yeah.
And then you just give them the audit, right? It takes a couple of minutes and say, if that was helpful, I'd really appreciate a review. And you could get your first 10 reviews super fast without
There you
having to
go.
put a ton of time into it.
Exactly. And
And
again,
then
with
you have to
physical
make
products, just
sure
give out 10 products.
you have to, if you do that, you have to make sure to go leave a review for ConversionWise though, because that would only be fair. But yeah, these are brilliant. I think it makes a ton of sense. I think you really did emphasize the importance of having reviews though, and of having folks who are going to vouch for you. It's a big part of a winning design. And so, yeah, if you're new, you probably need to make that mission one. And hopefully you've realized it doesn't have to be, right, a customer of your full suite of services that you're going to provide, right? Like one little thing that's easy for you to do, provide it, hopefully for free, in exchange for the reviews that you need to get your page to, something that's going to convert.
100%.
I could talk about this stuff forever, but we are about to hit time. I would love to ask you though, what comes to your mind as the biggest mistake that you see when it comes to creating a highly converting page?
Yeah, great question. I think a lot of it comes down to, it's very easy to me to say doing the opposite of what I just showed you, but I feel like a lot of people think that done is good enough. And I know that's great. I think I also feel like, and no disrespect to like your software, for example, because I know you guys have some really high converting pages, etc. But like, I feel like a lot of themes out there, a lot of templates out there say they're conversion optimized, but they're actually not. Like they look nice, but do they convert? Probably not. And everything we teach isn't rocket science. I am not clever. You can tell in my voice, I'm not a smart person. But even I can implement these things on my pages. Even I can change 4.8 out of 5 to 4.8 out of 5 by 100 plus happy customers. Even I can reorder my page to follow that principle. There are the cardinal sins, things like, having social sharing buttons above the fold on your pages, which is just like a huge no, having so many navigational links that you just get distracted, making sure that you're not testing your pages on, things like cross-browser compatibility. Like we can get really geeky here if we want to. Load speed is a huge one. Free tools out there, gtmetrics.com, tools.pingdom.com. You won't find that on Pingdom, so you've got to go tools.pingdom.com, and just getting like a waterfall of how quick your page loads. Like load times are really, really important, especially when it comes to paid media. So just not optimizing for load speeds, but just relying on things like templates and pages that you think or assume would be high converting, and not going that extra mile. Like I said, I probably noted on that little video, maybe I would say, I don't know, 20 principles, right? And we have a checklist of 140 of these, but like 20 principles. If you do one of them, you will probably move the needle a tiny bit, 0.3%. But you imagine when you start layering 20, 30, 40 of these principles on top of each other, that's when we can literally go check our Trustpilot reviews. Like we can literally double people's conversion rates overnight. And the beauty of CRO, and please, like if you take anything from this, the one thing I want you to take is the importance of CRO is, if you're sending 10,000 people to a landing page and it converts at 1%, you can send the exact same 10,000 people for the same ad spend from the same email, whatever you're doing, and get it converting at 3%, but it's the exact same people. You don't need to spend more money. You don't need to, it's not an ongoing thing. It's just optimize your pages and convert more people from, your hard work on ad spend or whatever you're doing. So I think the beauty of CRO and why I feel it's still very underrated is, you can literally double your business with no additional spend. And that's huge.
What a strong point to end on. I think what I just interpreted, the way I just interpreted what you said is, I could apply these principles to prospects who I see are real businesses that have been in business. They just have a terrible site or a terrible landing page. Hey, you're missing 8 out of the 10 things that make a high converting page. If you agree that, what I'm showing you makes sense, we'd love to fix that for you. And you do that. And now all of a sudden they didn't have to pay for ads. They didn't have to wait 6 months to rank higher or whatever. Immediately they're making more money because you just changed the conversion rate.
For agencies, it's a no-brainer because it's just quick wins. Like you wouldn't believe how like some of our audits, even some of the ugliest pages, and we audit them and we just say, add this here, do this here, do this here. And people do it 10 things, like you say. And like I say, their conversion rate doubles, their business doubles, their profit doubles, their revenue doubles. And imagine if you're an agency doing that for your client, that client's going to continue working with you, right?
What a great cold outreach gift, right? Everyone hates cold outreach because it's just annoying. But what if it were like, hey, took a look at your site. Here's what a high converting framework looks like. If you did these 6 things, you'd make more money, right? And whether you work with us or not, I hope that helps.
Now You're just giving our agency secrets away.
I mean,
but it's true. It's true. It's so powerful.
What a great way to land new customers in a really nice, non-intrusive, reciprocal kind of way.
Absolutely.
Oliver, this has been fantastic. I know you guys teach a lot more in your academy. Where can folks find that?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to check out all our solutions, just head on over to ConversionWise.com. You can then find your way to our academy where we have full training. We do weekly audit clinics, live calls. We'll literally look over your pages, audit them and give you feedback so you can implement the kind of things you learn in the training. We have wireframes, swipe files, all of the above. You can find that at conversionrateacademy.com. And if you enter the coupon high level, we're going to give you 50% off your first month. So you'll be able to get everything I've just mentioned for under $50. And also, if you just want to follow me for some free tips, check me out on Twitter. It's at Oliver Kenyon.
Fantastic. And I think we agreed that we would make the code all caps. I don't know if it matters, but high levels camel case can create some confusion. We'll go all caps.
Perfect. I can give you a link as well to put under the videos.
Yeah, we definitely will. Really appreciate that offer for the community. This has been, hopefully you guys agree, immensely valuable. Hopefully you guys took away a lot of nuggets. Oliver, thank you so much for coming on and being so open with all of these tips and conversion tricks.
Of course, I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.